The angler's loop is a great knot that can be tied in just about any type of cordage, holds well in slippery line like fishing line, hence the name angler's loop. Also, it's good for bungee cord in different sizes. It, in my opinion, is a good alternative to the bowline. However, it does not come undone anywhere near as easy as the bowline. If you guys can see on camera, it in fact has a very similar structure to a bowline, but in fact crosses back under through itself one more time, making it a little more secure, securing the tag end and making sure that doesn't slip out like it can on a bowline in some cases. But this is really good for fishing lines, lures, any kind of thing you would need a solid fixed line for. A lot of times I use this for my hammock and tarpon setup and things like that, so that works real well. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to start off by doing an overhand knot. Now, oddly enough, they say overhand knot, which is just your standard crossover that we've all known. But for some reason, in most books, it makes no distinction as to whether you're coming from on top of the standing end or if you're going behind the standing end. As it turns out, they can be quite important depending on what type of knot you're tying. For instance, the angler's loop, it needs to come from behind the standing end. But the book and a couple of books that I have make no reference of it coming on top of or behind. But if you tie it with it on top, the knot will not tie right. So that's one important thing to keep track of when you're looking at knots in books and drawings and wondering why all of a sudden your knot's just falling apart. It could be something as simple as just the rope's going the wrong direction. To go ahead and tie that, we're going to come from behind the standing end. We're going to come down, and I'm going to take a bite and just put it through that loop. Rather than taking this end and pulling it all the way through, I'm giving myself a little bit of a sliding noose. But now what we want to do is, I can't get that torqued out for you. Now what you want to do is take your tag end, go under your standing point, and you want to come down between these two. So you're going to open that up. Basically what you're trying to do is come down behind this loop. So then we go down between the two sides. And now you want to go back under the entire loop and come out the other side. It's probably a little difficult to see. But once you tie all that nice and tight, and this one does self-tighten, as you can see, and tightens down really nice. It comes out quite well, but again, this one can bind up. You can break it away like on a bowline with the back end like that and break things free. But once it's had a lot of stress on it, from a hammock or anything like that, or dragging something real heavy, it's definitely going to get bound up. But let's take a look at that one more time. It's kind of a goofy knot to show. Let's show that in paracord, see if that looks any better. So we're going to come from behind the standing end. We're going to take a bite and put it through. I'm going to come from under the loop and down between the two sides so I can go behind the loop. So down, under the loop, and back out the side. Making sure to tighten down all the sides. So the angler's loop is a great knot for all sorts of situations. I've been using it for a couple years now, and I use it a lot. I like it.